Also, I do want to state how if she would have never woke me up, I would have never like started scrolling, and which is something I never typically do, right? Because one of my rules for myself is like, don't pour from an empty cup, meaning I have to pour into myself first, meaning I have to do my morning routine first. But because again, I only basically took a fucking nap. There was a reading that was like playing, and I started to listen to it, and then I was like, I just completely like, I just started recording. I just started like, you can say channeling at that point, right? Because I'm like, why the fuck am I sharing this? I don't know, but again, I don't know when I when I come on here, I have no idea what the next thing that's gonna come out of my mouth is. I just let it flow. I'm just like, it's all within my psyche because I've studied this information. I've had the consciousness of it because I've accepted them as my truth. So again, it's kind of like I'm just a messenger here. You accept, reject accordingly, right? You will know what is in resonance with your truth. You will feel it intuitively. And if you do not have your intuition developed yet, there's no shame to that. Like a lot of us have been asleep for a while. You're probably going through an awakening, which one of the numbers was 11. So awakening, right? Your consciousness is shifting. You're maybe not aware, or maybe you are aware, but you're feeling like things are just not feeling like they used to, right? So what I was, the whole point of me sharing this specific video was, if she didn't wake me up and then I didn't look at my phone, it wouldn't have triggered whatever needed to be triggered within me to come on here and give that message. So even that, like her being like, wake up, wake up, wake up, is and I'm hearing a dog in the background, is vibrational. Everything is vibrational. That is why I say that when you assume something, whatever whatever is required to get that is going to be attracted to you. So even something as small as her waking me up to trigger me to activate something, for me to post a post, for you to receive that post, for you to follow your intuition based on the post, dogs are very significant. That is how the universe works and conspires in your favor. And that is how aligned shit is. So that's why when I said, like, you don't have to do anything but visualize, you can prime your energy. The future and the past are illusions. There's only the now. The energy you have right now, that you embody right now, is what calls forward the future. And it's like vibration. I'm going like this, like timeline jumps, timeline shifts, whatever you want to call it. Remaining calm in the chaos is really important. If you allow the chaos to trigger you and to get you mad, irritated, even sad, then you're giving your power away and you're lowering your vibration and your wavelengths become more dense. I've talked about this, right? So it slows down the process of alignment, which is not about time, it's about matching the frequency and being able to sustain and hold it long enough for it to actually be something you can perceive with your physical senses, and then not self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is really, I said it in the last video. And that has to do with feeling safe and secure, which is all I've been fucking telling this whole fucking week. Feel safe, feel secure, talk your shit, do your thing, don't give a fuck, nobody cares, nobody really thinks. And I'm saying this with like so much love. A lot of people aren't consciously aware of what thinking actually constitutes. Thinking takes fucking energy, which is why a lot of people don't do it. You have to consciously be aware of, like, is this serving me, is this not? Am I using my imagination creatively? Am I using my imagination destructively? What's my inner dialogue looking like? You're reverse engineering your life, so you're very self-aware of what your internal dialogue is, what your vibration is, because you know that whatever you vibrate and whatever you are identifying with and whatever your beliefs are must be made manifest in your reality, and that indeed will become your future. Consciousness expansion, crown chakra, awakening. Another thing I notice is, like, the people that show up on my page sometimes that I resonate with, They're starting to mingle amongst each other. We're all connected, right? Also, it's giving crown, heavy crown chakra. We're all connected. We're all made of the same energy. We're all the same person, experiencing life through our different experiences and perceptions. But at the end of the day, that's how we channel for you guys, because we are one. So all we have to do is connect to ourselves, and we all have different abilities, right? I talked about this again earlier this week. Like, heavily, you attract what you are, right? I have my strongest clairs are clairsentience and claircognizance. My clairvoyance has been developing, my clairaudience as well. They peep in here and there for like very firm, very like bunch of confirmation. Self-doubt. I heard self-doubt, right? So it's like learning to trust yourself, and however you perceive energy and understanding. It's a lot. I know. Again, this is why I created courses and guides and all this shit, because I'm not frustrated, but I'm like, are you frustrated? Heart chakra. Remember the emotional balance scale. Whatever emotions you're feeling, look at the color. That's the chakra right now that you're being called to align. That's basically like the easiest way for you to start navigating this process, right? If you, like, for example, if I don't want you to depend on me to read your chart, your cards for which chakra needs alignment today, right? Which is why I don't do it very often. If you need a one-on-one, I do have one-on-ones. I don't know how many or how long I'll have this service for, because part of my intention in life is not to just live to serve. It's just to live my life. I'm serving through just being me, which is probably your purpose in life too. Everybody's just to be fucking happy, to experience life, to live joy. That's all we're here to fucking do. This other shit is man-made shit, which is consumerism shit, which is just like the way the old world operated. Old consciousness, right? But yeah, we're moving on to a different consciousness, or at least some of us are. That for me was the trippiest part of this. Was like, what is 3D? What is 5D? Everybody describes it in so many different ways. I study the science of it, right? But then also like in the spiritual, which basically spiritual and science are the same thing. It's just polar opposite perception. And even then, spirituality is the umbrella. Spirituality is just your ability to accept and reject belief systems. Okay? Do want to say that. All of these things you've been vibrating and you have questions and or one of these things, and that's what will resonate with you, and this is what you take from this message. But yeah, if you want someone to help guide you on this journey of whatever the fuck I just talked about, or look at my content, again, I've navigated a lot of personal stuff, right? And I always said the best person to teach someone is the person that's already fucking done it. Maybe you've been suicidal. I heard suicidal. Or again, you're vibrating more low, and you're sick and tired of vibrating low. You're self-aware, and it's hurting. It hurts. It fucking does. Being consciously aware of a low vibrational emotion and being in that pattern, that being your home, is not a fun place to be. But there is purpose in you feeling all of that. A lot of you are not even feeling your own pain. You're feeling your ancestors' pain, and again, that itself is an awakening itself to grow through and navigate and embody and embrace, because without that you wouldn't have developed your spiritual ability. Ooh, I got tingles on my right leg. Your spiritual abilities to that point, right? So everything has good and bad. Yeah, nothing is good and bad until you compare it to something else. Universal laws. So again, the guide has everything. I will always say this over and over. So if you see my face, pop out your fucking guide, study that shit, whatever resonates, and let that take you to your next adventure. I love you guys.